speak with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, PenFed Realty. I sell residential real estate. I also do some commercial, agriculture. If you want to buy it or sell it, I'll come talk to you. That's the way it works. But recently in Wichita, for about the last year, we've been short on listings. And what that means mathematically is a balanced market where it's neither a buyer's market nor a seller's market is typically a 6. That means if no new listings came on the market, it would take us 6 months to run out of listings. Right now we're at 2, which means if no new houses came on the market, we'd be out of listings in 2 months. So buyers are very upset right now about trying to find a house to buy. They're either not fitting their needs, it's not fitting their price range, their location. So I'm just telling you, if you have a house, an extra one to sell, and it's been sitting around and you're thinking, oh, I wonder when a good time to sell would be, now, last month, now. So call me or call the realtor that you typically deal with and get what they call a CMA, which is a comparative market analysis, and they'll tell you what your house is worth. One of the things we're going to talk about in today's show, since it's just me, is how to get your house ready to put on the market. So typically what some of my clients do is call me about 3 months before they actually want to have their first tourists come through. They have me come and look at things and give them ideas on what they should and should not do. A lot of the times they'll say, well, I would like to paint over this wallpaper. And I always tell people, do not paint over wallpaper, because the next person might want to come take that wallpaper down, and it is so much harder to take it down once it has been painted. They would rather just deal with whatever it is and not have to deal with the more difficult process of taking that down. So, and there's things that, and we've talked about this in past shows, like with FHA requirements, there's things that have to be fixed and things that don't need to be fixed in order for the buyer to get the loan, and I typically know what those things are. And the other thing you can do is, we've talked with Eric Maybe, the home inspector, about having him come out and do a pre-inspection so that you're aware of all those things that you would never think about. Fuses too big in a fuse box. Who looks in their fuse box for that type of stuff? That just came up in one of our home inspections last week. So those are things to kind of prep to get your house ready to put on the market. Now, when you get it on the market and you're ready for showings, there's other things that you need to do as well. And there's just things you just typically don't think about, like roll up your hose. You're out watering the plants in the summer and it's strewn across the lawn. If you roll it up nice against the house, it makes the house look a little bit nicer. Actually make your bed. It's an odd thing, but sometimes people show their house without their bed made or their bathroom clean. The other things that you want to think about besides just cleaning up your house is hiding things. And the things I'm talking about are like prescription drugs. Sometimes you keep those in your medicine cabinet, and sometimes you keep those in the windowsill of your kitchen. Well, when people go through, me as an agent, I always make sure my buyers pre-qualify. They've been to a lender. I know where they work. I've met them before, but that doesn't mean that I know a lot about them. Especially when you do open houses, what will happen is they will use children for this purpose, and they will say, my child needs to use the bathroom. Usually you cannot say no to a child who needs to use a bathroom. So the parent goes in, and the next thing you know is the seller is calling me and saying, all my prescriptions are gone. How did this happen? And it's typically they have that time when the child is in the bathroom to go through your cabinet and take all your prescription drugs. So those are the types of things that you might want to take with you in the car, or hide them in a safe, or put them in a different place so that they are not taken. And these are things that you just don't think about when you live in your house. So one of the things that you might want to do is right before you put it on the market, either have the agent come through or a neighbor or a friend and say, give me an idea. Does my house smell like a dog? If it does smell like a dog or a cat, there's Febreze. I'm not a big fan of Febreze. I have asthma. It brings up my asthma. I like a product called Odoban. It smells more like eucalyptus. It's a little bit more natural. And it definitely gets rid of the dog smell and the cat smell and stinky shoe smell. You'd be surprised. You get used to a smell in your house, and your friend will pick up on it. And this needs to be a very honest friend. Says your shoes stink. Put some Odoban or some stuff. And the other thing you want to do is when you're in the kitchen, people will open up the refrigerator. Whether the refrigerator stays or not, it is just the oddest thing. People will always look in your refrigerator. So make sure you don't have food that stinks, because any smell will turn off a buyer. And if a buyer thinks that your house stinks, no matter how much they like it, they won't come back. They will see a dirty house again before they ever see a house that has an odor that offended them. So that's one of the things that you want to make sure of as well is, take out the trash before a showing, wash all your bedding. Those types of things you need to do before anybody steps into your house to tour it. We're into springtime, hopefully. And so one of the things you want to do is make your front porch as welcoming as possible. Clean the glass, buy a couple potted plants or hanging plants. Make sure the front door is clean, around the door knobs. Make sure all the doors and the door jambs are clean. And these are things that are really inexpensive to do that make a really big difference. One of the other things you'll want to do is clean your oven. I am surprised buyers will pop open an oven and the first thing they'll say is, "Oh, gross," because no one has cleaned their oven. So either pay somebody to clean it, use a self-cleaning thing on it if it has one of those. You may have to run it through a couple of sessions before it's clean. I can always provide the name of a professional house cleaner for you. They run about $125 for a couple of hours, and that seems like a lot until you realize how much cleaning you actually are needing at that point. Also mow the grass. Trim around the flower beds, weed. Next door, the website next door is sometimes good for that, because you might be able to find somebody in your neighborhood who's just looking to pick up some extra hours and lives down the street, and you can pay them to come and help you move stuff. There are charities that will come take things for you for free. But, start paring down your house room by room. Plastic tubs are fine to have things stacked around your house. People know that you're moving. But try to make your house as presentable, odor-free, and as inviting as you can. So if you have any more questions, you're more than welcome to give me a call. My number is 316-214-1121. We'll be back next week with Sam Ludwig of Farha Roofing to talk about roofing and hailstorms and tornadoes. It's that season. So we'll see you next week. Have a good May Day. Bye.